Check out how this card opens, a double open. So fun. And I've got ways to make it simple and 5 different ideas on how to step this up to make it more fancy if you've got the supplies. Hello, everyone, and welcome to sunnydaystamping.com. I'm Julie Baca. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm excited to show you how simple it is to make that fun fold card. After you watch the video, you can head over to my website. I'll put a link in the description of this video to take you directly over there, and that's where you'll get to find all of the measurements for this card. Now, you're going to be able to use any supplies that you have at home, but if you want your card to look just like mine, you can buy those exact supplies, and I'll list them on my website also. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's get started. So for this card, you're just going to need a 6x6 piece of double-sided paper. Pick any double-sided paper that you love. This is the Perennial Lavender, and it is, I love it. I absolutely love it. I bought a couple packs of it because I love the colors. I love the designs on it. It's beautiful, but you pick whatever you like. This is going to work with any piece of double-sided paper. The beauty of it is we are going to see both sides. So I don't know about you, but sometimes when I love a piece of paper, I'm like, oh my goodness, I love both sides and I don't want to glue one down. This is the perfect card for that. So I'm actually going to pick one of these ginormous pieces of paper because I want to show you how to cut it down to just take the mystery out of that. Some of the papers already come 6x6, but if it comes large, I want to show you how to do that. So once you pick your paper, now pick one of the colors from your paper to be your card base. Now Stampin' Up, their double-sided paper, their inks that they use in the paper are the same for the cardstock and for the stamp pads, so everything's going to match perfectly. So if you struggle with that in your projects, Stampin' Up products are the way to go. Then you're gonna, for your greeting, you're gonna pick something, another color out of here, or you could use the same to be the backing for your greeting, and then we'll stamp on here. Now for the simple card, you'll probably still gonna want an inside for your card base, and we can stamp on that. For one of the stepped up versions of the card, you'll need a little strip of paper like this. We're gonna go ahead and stamp all this now, and then I'll show you the different options later. So for my greeting, I'm gonna use Biggest Wish. I love this, these big bold letters and the cursive together, and you can do, thank you and birthday, lots of options on this. One thing about this stamp set though, they're kind of a low profile stamp. So if you put too much ink on it, or if you press too hard, the ink can show through. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'll show you on my scrap paper. So I'm going to really squish this up and get too much ink on it. And then I'm going to press way too hard. And you might have noticed you having this, this issue with yours because I've done it. So what you want to do is just pounce your stamp up and down on there. It'll probably still get ink in between those letters, but that's okay. Because we're not going to press as hard. The other tip is to get yourself a Stampin' Pierce mat. This is like a firm foam mat, but it gives just enough cushion to give a really good impression for stamps. And now we're just going to press down just so you can see that all the words are touching the paper, and just let it set there and then pull it off. And that way I didn't press very hard, but you can see that's a much better impression than that one. So I used Highland Heather for this, and now I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape, which is just a darker tone to do Thanks Friend, and it just kind of gives a nice two-tone look to it. Now for the inside of my card and for my envelopes, I just wanted a floral stamp set. This one just happens to perfectly match the Designer Series paper, the double-sided paper that I'm using, but you could use whatever you've got. And I'm just going to take these flowers and stamp 3 of them, kind of at different heights. And then it's got an inside of this, so I'm going to stamp that in my Gorgeous Grape. And just line it up. Oh, wow, I did not line that up very well. This one does not need to be perfectly lined up. I actually think it looks awesome, just kind of off kilter. And then get your stem, and I think because I'm going sideways. Here we go. Why don't you I was doing everything at an angle. Don't even ask me why. Okay, there. Now we're going to take this little bit of grass and just kind of put it down here at the bottom. And then that stamp set has a butterfly, so I have to use that. I'm just going to put it right up here in the corner. Now grab your card base, and so once you have it folded, like this is going to be the front, turn it over and put just one little stamp on the back. I think that makes it look so precious. And then in this biggest wish, there's this pretty little hello. So I'm going to just put this right down here, and I'm going to do it in green just so it kind of looks like that grass. And this will be the inside of our card. Now go ahead and grab your envelope. I know most people do this at the end, but I noticed when I was doing it at the end, I wasn't doing it at all. So I do my envelopes right when I'm stamping the rest of my card. And then I'm just taking another piece of foliage out of that painted lavender, and this is going to match my designer series paper. And I'm just going to put this in here like that, and that'll make that so pretty on the envelope. Now this is an optional piece, but we're going to go ahead and stamp it now. And I am going to use Courage and Faith because it's got these words, these wonderful encouraging phrases, verses that will fit perfect on this. This is also great for like bookmarks for Bible study or something like that. So I'm just going to stamp that up here near the top, and then we'll stamp some on the bottom also. This, I'm going to use that same painted lavender stamp set, and we're just going to put that, what was grass in the other one, along the bottom, but it's got this little tiny little flower thing so that you can stamp just some wildflowers around here. There, isn't that precious? Okay, our stamping is all done, so it's time to cut this pretty paper. All the measurements for all those pieces of white paper, those are all over on my website. They're also on my print and make project sheet. This goes out to my email subscribers, so if you're not on my email list and you want this, go ahead and get on there. There's a link in the description of this video. Now, if the double-sided paper that you're using comes in a 6x6, you can omit this part of the step, but I want to show you how to cut down these big pieces of paper because they intimidate me, so they might intimidate you also. So with the paper trimmer, if you just bump it up against this edge here, that is 6 inches. So it's very easy to just slice that in half at 6 inches. Then you're going to rotate this and cut this down to 6 inches on this side also. So now it's all cut down. So now you've got your 6x6 piece of paper, and we need to trim off 3/4 of an inch from either the top or the bottom. So you're going to want to make sure to rotate. If your paper has a direction, make sure it is going horizontally from side to side, and let's trim this off. Keep this little piece of paper. Actually, we'll just move the big paper down, and we're going to rotate this and cut it at 5 1/4. So the only piece that's wasted out of this is this little tiny, but we're going to keep this piece. Now bring your larger piece back in, make sure the direction is now pointing this way, and you're going to score it either at 2 or 4, depending on which side you want your flap to be on. Now I really want to have some of this like dead space showing on this part of my card. So I am going to score mine at 2 inches right here, which is going to create the flap on this side like this. So I just wanted to show you, you can have this open either way depending on what your designer series paper is doing. Okay, so now take your bone folder and just make sure that has a nice good crease. Get your card base and crease that also. And now we're going to glue this onto our card base. And even though we're covering up this beautiful side of paper, we can still see it on the front. So you get to use both sides of your beautiful designer series paper. Now to get this nice and flat, you can take your bone folder in to just slide that over. And so now you can see when you open up this card, you can see the cute little butterflies that are revealed when you open it. So now you're going to take this piece, this is the piece we cut off, flip it over and glue it right here to the front. This is going to create kind of a ribbon look without the ribbon. Go ahead and take the inside of your card and glue that to the inside. So now we're opening it like that. Glue your greeting to the layer for the greeting. Remember, all these measurements are on my website or on that project sheet. So there you go. This is going to be the first simple way to make this card. This has no embellishments. That was pretty quick. You would either glue this on or use Stampin' Dimensionals, but I'm going to show you a way to step this up if you want. So the first way to step this up is to take that little panel and glue it right here on the inside so that when they open it, there's that encouraging verse on the inside. You could also leave this off and just sign in here if you want, or just completely stamp it up. So that's one way to step it up. I'm also not going to glue that in there yet because the next suggestion is to just add some ribbon to the front. This layer of ribbon on these two other layers of paper looks really cool. So just lay a piece of ribbon on there, leaving just a little bit on either side, and cut this off. Now take your glue dots and put one glue dot on each end of the ribbon, making sure it's on the same side. Make sure like both glue dots are on the same side of the ribbon. Like that. Okay, so now you're gonna lay it back down on top of here, making sure it's equal. And then you're just gonna turn this ribbon underneath. And those glue dots just hold it in place perfectly. Now, this is when you're gonna glue this here to cover up those ugly edges. Now, if you did not want to put this panel on here, you could just wrap ribbon around it and tie it in the front so that there aren't ugly edges on the back here. So this is suggestion number 2, just to have the flat piece of ribbon. So at this point, we can go ahead and add our Stampin' Dimensionals. And we want to make sure we're only adding dimensionals here, that to any place where the greeting is overlapping this front flap. We don't want to put them here because then we would completely glue our flap shut. So you can put this directly in the middle, but I kind of liked it off to the side like this. So the third and fourth way are similar. They are to add ribbon to this in a little bow. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. Actually, I'll go ahead and tie this one on. So this is such an easy way to tie a little bow because the base of this ribbon is already tacked down. So it gives you a nice solid area for doing ribbons. And you guys know I struggle and I can do this. Yay! So this is the third way, just to add the same bit of ribbon to the front of the card. Now the fourth way to step it up is to use a different color ribbon, something that is thinner or thicker, a different color, a different texture. This is just going to give it just another layer of interest. So here, let me show you, compare these two so you can decide which way you'd like to do that. The last way to just step up your card, this is number 5, is just to add some gems. This is such an easy way to just make it so fancy. These are self-adhesive, so they're really easy just to pop on there. So here's the card we made with the little matching envelope. I'll show you the inside and then the back there. So here's some more using that same pack of designer series paper and all the same stamp sets. Here's just some different ideas of what to do on your envelope and on the inside of your cards. And then here's another one from that same pack of designer series paper. I put out a new video every Thursday, so I'll see you here next week. If you want my print and make project sheet, those go out in my Friday or morning email. So make sure to sign up for my email list. It's in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a really sunny day.